Jason here from Hop and Barrel, a brand new YouTube channel dedicated to craft beer reviews and craft beer discussion. We're going to talk about things ranging from actual beer to proper glassware, bottle openers, brewing apparel, brewing gear, like this growler behind me over here. The goal is to bring craft beer to the masses. It's so easy for craft beer to be overwhelming and difficult and even have a little bit of snobbery. And I myself have been guilty of that in the past. So what I wanted to do was bring something to you that would make craft beer more approachable, easier to start into, and then something also for the aficionados, for those who have been drinking craft beer for a long time and share the passion just like I do. Because it's winter, I wanted to start off with a pretty appropriate beer. It is a bourbon barrel aged porter. This beer I'm really into. I actually haven't had it yet, so I don't know if I'm into it. But it's from Ballast Point, a brewery out in California. And what I really love about it is that it was easy to find. I wasn't looking for it. I walked into my local bottle shop, Bestsellers Ledgewood. If you're in the area, make sure to check it out off Route 46. Ask for Chris or David and tell them Jason sent you. But I walked in there and I just saw it there. They had about a half case left or so. They only got 2 cases in, they said. And I wasn't expecting it. I've had the Victory at Sea series before. They've had different flavors and different varieties throughout that series. And they've always been pretty good. This one I was really interested in because the rage when it comes to winter beers is let's put everything in a barrel. Bourbon barrel, rum barrel, tequila barrel, rye barrel, all kinds of barrels. 99 barrels of beer on the wall, right? So it's you have the big heavy hitters that people hype up. The bourbon counties, and we'll get into that. I have plenty of that back there. The bourbon counties, the barrel-aged 1050s from Oscar Blues, the Founders, the KBS and the CBS, the Firestone Walker Parabajava. You have a lot of stuff from Evil Twin. There's all these really, really big hyped up bourbon barrel aged stouts that people line up for and spend a buttload of money. I'm guilty of that, right? So a bottle of CBS is going to run you $27, and you're going to get a pint and a half of beer out of that. So these are all really great beers, but in order to make this really exceptional and interesting quality of beer available to the masses, I really appreciate what Ballast Point's doing. They have a much wider distribution footprint ever since that they were acquired about 1.5 years ago or so, but their beer has not changed. They brew some really, really incredible beer. Everything from their Sculpin series. The Grapefruit Sculpin is one of my favorite beers. They do some really interesting stuff. They did a Gose. I think it was a sour Gose. Their Oktoberfest, not a really elaborate style, but a really, really true execution of the style. So I really appreciate what they're doing. So without further ado, let's crack into this. What a great sound. It's always important to have a really, really strong bottle opener. It's hard to tell what's going to be a good bottle opener. I prefer ones with a longer handle. It gives me a little more leverage, a little cleaner open, as you can see here. I like to save these. I have a little bit of beer art throughout the house, as you can see that my wife and I like to collect certain beer things and display them. And so this long handle, I prefer metal ones as well. Durable. This is about 6 or so years old, and it's lasted me a long, long time. So without further ado, here's the bottle art. A really, really nice picture there. They really go with like a skeleton thing. And I apologize for the glare. Lighting isn't great here. As you can see, it's their High West 2017 bourbon barrel and rye barrel aged porter. So here we go. Want to get yourself a nice glass? You tilt it at, I think this is 45 degrees, but you do a nice tilt, and then you eventually start to level out. It's going to get you a nice head, a nice even pour, and get the aromatics out. And the aromatics are a big part of tasting beer. And so is the head. It allows you to... It's a nice aesthetic appearance. You taste with your eyes first, then you smell, and then you kick it back. Cheers. It's really smooth. Really smooth beer. I love the color here. Most of these beers are always they're always going to be dark, and it doesn't really change from beer to beer. But it's just really nice. It warms me up inside, both because of the high booze content and because it's just comforting to see. You get a lot of the heat. So when people talk about heat in a beer like this, it's from the booze. It's from the barrel aging. I get that on the finish. I don't get it so much on the front. Really smooth mouthfeel through and through. You really get a good bit of the coffee and vanilla in this as well. Mostly on the front. I get the coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. I love really nice coffees, and you can really get this here. The vanilla's a little faded. I don't know if this is an older bottle. Vanilla tends to fade. In these types of beers, the longer you have them. We picked this up towards the end of December, and we're now mid-January or so. Crazy that it's already mid-January. But this, it's a good beer. It's a good beer. Not going to blow your socks off, not unless you're new to this style. But it's a really good beer. This is about beer, so I'm going to be drinking beer. Yeah, the coffee is actually really strong. And beers like this, so I had this in the fridge for about 30 minutes or so from my cellar. Beer cellar, not an actual cellar, it's a cabinet. You want to drink it cold, not too cold. You want to drink it a little cold, let it sit 15 minutes or so, drink it. Let it sit 30 minutes, drink it. Beers like this change. That's what is so interesting to me about the bourbon barrel and these really big, heavy stouts, especially ones with higher ABV. This one has 12%, right? 12%. So they warm up, and the character changes of the beer, right? So the vanilla notes might come out a little more. The rye notes might come out more. The bourbon notes, they're always going to be there. The heat character is going to change a little bit. See, even right now, I'm feeling it in here, right in here, and I'm loving it. So I highly recommend, if you can find this, you probably can. You probably can find this, and that's what's great about this beer. That's what I really appreciate about Ballast Point. Highly recommend you pick out a couple other Ballast Points while you're at it. Specifically the Grapefruit Sculpin, and if you can find the unfiltered Sculpin, also great. Check the bottle date. That's a beer you want to have within 3 weeks. Within 3 weeks of the bottle date. Which is why I've kind of stayed away from buying a whole six-pack. It's tough for me to really get into buying a whole six-pack and having a whole six-pack of a single beer. Yeah, but Ballast Point, pricier than your average six-pack that you're going to find. This came in a four-pack, and I believe it was $18, which is a really good price in my opinion. You're paying $4.50 for really high quality beer. You go out to a bar, not even in any major city. You go out to a craft beer bar, you're paying $8-9 for this. So you're able to enjoy it in your home, relax in a quiet environment, and maybe you'll even make a YouTube video. Who knows? And so for our first video, thank you for joining us. Hit that subscribe, hit that like. Let me know what you think. What beer are you drinking lately? I'm always interested to find out what people are drinking lately. Do you have a favorite bourbon barrel aged stout? Do you have a favorite stout for the winter? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, hit that share, and as always, cheers.